Okay, we are reading all about the USA, and we are in chapter 11. We're going to read about 3 different things here, or people, or what they are. I think they're myths or legends, but maybe Johnny Appleseed isn't such a myth. I think it's actually based on a true story. But we have Bigfoot, Johnny Appleseed, and Blackbeard's ghost. Everyone likes a good ghost story. So we're going to start with Bigfoot. Now, Bigfoot, they talk about Bigfoot a lot in my state, in Michigan. It's a big myth or legend that there's a Bigfoot in the UP. Now, the UP is called the Upper Peninsula because the state of Michigan is in 2 parts. There's the lower part of Michigan that looks like a hand, and then there's the upper part of Michigan that borders with Canada and borders with Wisconsin. And there are many stories about a Bigfoot in the UP, or the Upper Peninsula, and that's the upper part of Michigan. I lived in the Lower Peninsula. That's where most of the people actually live, and most of the businesses are, and you're closer to Chicago, and that's where Detroit is. But in the UP, they have the story of Bigfoot. So you have to be careful. You never know. You might meet him. Someday. Chapter 11, Myths and Legends, Bigfoot. According to legend, there are tall, hairy, ape-like creatures in the forest and mountains in the USA, in the United States. There were always stories about these creatures, but people didn't really pay attention until 1958. So, about 60 years ago. At that time, a man called Jerry Crew found an enormous footprint in California. Footprint is where you step, the step in the snow. It's like for here, there's a footprint. These are footprints in California, and publicized a picture of it. So he put it in the newspaper, probably, or the TV. Crew said it was the footprint of old Bigfoot. So after that, people used this name for the creature. Then, in 1967, 2 men filmed a Bigfoot. Later, more and more people began to see Bigfoots in different places. Of course, there were many hoaxes. For example, people dressed up in ape costumes and filming each other. But who knows if this creature really exists? What do you think? Do you think there's really a Bigfoot? Do you think it's possible? Maybe he's hiding in the forest. Maybe if you go to California or to the UP in Michigan, you'll find him. Bring him back to Spain. Johnny Appleseed. Next part here. Johnny Appleseed. Imagine a man walking thousands of kilometers to plant apple trees. Johnny Appleseed did this. His real name was John Chapman, and he was born in Massachusetts in 1774. Johnny dreamed of a land with apple trees. He just loved apples. He loved apples and apple trees. He thought apple trees were the coolest thing because you have wood and you have fruit. You need wood for fire, and when you don't need the wood, well, you have apples. It's perfect. And with the apples, you can make apple pie and apple crumble and apple sauce. This is fantastic. So he walked west, He walked west across the country carrying a big bag of apple seeds. He created apple orchards in Illinois, which is near Michigan, Indiana, which is near Michigan, Kentucky, which is further south, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, which also borders Michigan. I think actually they have different either trees from him still, or the children of his trees, basically. Johnny lived a simple vegetarian life. So a vegetarian would be you don't eat meat. You only eat vegetables or fruit. that kind of thing. He was friendly. He was a friendly man, and he loved animals. Some people say he wore a sack on his body and a pot on his head. A pot, like a saucepan pot, but taller on his head. But I don't really know if that's true. Sounds kind of weird. Okay, he didn't wear shoes even in winter, which to me, that's kind of a legend too, because these states, like for example, Illinois, Indiana, Pennsylvania, Ohio, in the wintertime, we have snow. You can't walk in the snow barefoot for very long because you just freeze. You burn your feet. You'd burn your feet with cold. So I think that's a myth. Maybe in the summer, but whatever. Some people say he didn't wear shoes even in winter. Okay. For 50 years, this extraordinary man planted trees across the country and became a living legend. Okay, so he was very famous. So the story's true, but all the information maybe isn't. Okay. Next one, Blackbeard's ghost. This is scary. Maybe he'll come and see you tonight when you go to bed. He'll whisper something to your ears. Blackbeard's ghost. In the early 18th century, a pirate called Edward Teach, not teacher, he wasn't a teacher, he was a pirate, okay? But his name was Teach, but that doesn't mean he was a teacher. It's just his name. Also known as Blackbeard, terrorized ships along the east coast of America for 27 months. He stole money and jewelry from passengers and sometimes killed them. So not a nice guy, not the kind of guy you want to really hang out with. In 1718, some British soldiers tried to capture Blackbeard. There was a violent battle on a ship, and the soldiers finally killed him. Okay. Then the British leader, Lieutenant Maynard, cut off Blackbeard's head and threw his body into the sea. Can you imagine? According to legend, the head shouted, "Come on, Edward!" And the body swam 3 times around the ship and then went under the water. Many people say Blackbeard's ghost is still searching for his head. Wow. So you never know. So if you come to America, well, don't go to the East Coast, that area. Just kind of stay in New York. Well, New York is the East Coast. So is Washington, D.C. Just come to Michigan. Come to Chicago. It's a fantastic place. Safer than the East Coast with Blackbeard's ghost coming to search for his head. And all of a sudden he finds you. Okay? Be careful out there. Ghosts are scary. Thank you. Hope you guys have a great day. And maybe plant some apple seeds. You never know what might grow. You'll get a new tree, and you could become the next Johnny Appleseed. See you later. Goodbye.